Welcome back. You're watching Network Africa, coming to you live from Lagos, Nigeria. You can get all our top stories on our website, channelstv.com, and on youtube.com/channelsweb. Please visit our website, the channels, that's www.channelstv.com, for the latest on all our stories. You can watch any part of this program that you have missed on youtube.com/channelsweb, especially for our viewers outside of West Africa. Just log on to m.channelstv.com on your mobile device and you can watch us live. Please download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS, and Windows phones from their respective stores. The political instability in Burundi has been described as precarious, even as the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights warns the Security Council that the country is on the brink of catastrophe. Yet, Burundi's Foreign Affairs Minister, Alain Nyamitwe, insists his country is not up in flames. President Paul Kagame of Rwanda has also expressed the same concern, saying that he is imploring Burundi government to avoid conflict. Burundi has dismissed Kagame's remarks as indecent and unfair.
Concerns are growing in the international community about Burundi as more violent clashes sparked by a political crisis in that country continues unabated. The United Nations has warned that this could lead to mass atrocity crimes.
Burundi finds itself in a deep political crisis and rapid escalation of violence that has serious implications for stability and ethnic harmony in Burundi, as well as peace and security in the region.
UN High Commissioner for Human Rights Zeid Ra'ad Al Hussein and UN Special Advisor for the Prevention of Genocide Adama Dieng both warned the Council that Burundi could be facing imminent catastrophe.
The country appears to be on the verge of a descent into violence that could escalate into atrocity crimes.
And recent inflammatory remarks by members of the government have suggested that this crisis, which has involved targeting people for their perceived political affiliations, could increasingly take on an ethnic dimension.
In spite of all the concerns raised, Burundi's Foreign Affairs Minister, Alain Nyamitwe, told Security Council that the situation in his country is now under control.
The government remains ready to work further with its partners, so that first, there will be no longer fear that there would be a genocide.
At least 240 people have been killed, and tens of thousands have even fled to neighboring states during months of violence that began when President Pierre Nkurunziza decided in April to run for a third term. He won the disputed election in July.
Well, it's definitely no longer business as usual in Tanzania as President-elect John Magufuli begins what many see as an overhaul of the government. Barely a week in office, Mr. Magufuli ordered restrictions on foreign travel by government officials and cuts in tax exemptions, signaling the potential start of fiscal belt-tightening measures by his government. He has also sacked the head of the main state hospital after finding patients sleeping on the floor during a surprise visit. President Magufuli has broken up the governing board at Muhimbili National Hospital after discovering the main scanning and diagnostic machines were not working. Well, many view these actions as part of John Magufuli's promises to stabilize the country's finances, accelerate economic growth, while encouraging a culture of accountability. At least 3 people have died and 5 wounded in clashes between fighters in Central African Republic amid intensifying violence in the country. The latest fighting occurred in and around the town of Bambari. The UN officials say 2 people were killed during the fighting in the village 10 kilometers away from Bambari, and one other one died of his injuries. Witnesses say their deaths triggered more widespread and violence in that town, with gunmen opening fire in the town, burning houses and sending hundreds of people running for cover. This renewed violence is the worst the country has seen in weeks, and it is coming as CAR prepares for its presidential elections on December the 27th, 2015. There's more to come on Network Africa when we come back. Kenya experiences coffee business boom, supported by a growing middle class with an addictive coffee culture.